Cindy Beale's secret EastEnders business partner revealed amid suspect lineup. Cindy Beale is set to go into business with a mysterious partner in EastEnders, but just who is the man with the money and desire to buy into her pie and mash shop? Since her return to Albert Square earlier this year, Cindy has been putting her plan to win back daughters Gina and Anna Knight into action. There was a severe lack of trust between mother and daughters after Cindy walked out on them with no explanation 9 years ago. Because of this, Cindy has made it her mission to lay down roots in the square to prove that she isn't going anywhere again, and what better way to do that than by buying her own business? However, her main obstacle has been money, and when faced with an opposing bidder on the pawnbroker's site, Cindy saw an opportunity. In a recent episode, the cunning character informed Ian Beale that she planned to go into business with the opposing bidder. Ian was understandably shocked, but Cindy told him to trust her, revealing that the bidder was a man who had previously lived in Albert Square. Unfortunately, that was all the information she gave us, but luckily here at metro.co.uk we love a mystery, so we have compiled a list of all the people we think may be Cindy's mystery buyer. 1. David Wicks. Ever since it was announced that Cindy would be going into business with a mystery character, fans have been calling for David Wicks to make a return to the show. Viewers will remember David and Cindy's iconic affair, which ultimately led to her hiring a hitman to kill husband Ian. With David and Cindy's history, a return for the iconic character would surely make for dramatic viewing, especially given the fact that Cindy and Ian are now back together. Though Cindy told Ian that the mystery buyer didn't want anyone knowing his identity, could she have been telling a small fib? Could it actually be Cindy who doesn't want Ian to know David's identity, given their history? David would certainly be a popular choice among fans, with many desperately calling for him to return to screens. He was last seen in Walford back in 2014, before heading to America after suffering a mini heart attack. Having owned businesses in the square before, is it time for him to come home? 2. Simon Wicks. David was not the only Wicks to have an affair with Cindy, with younger brother Simon also falling for her. Simon and Cindy had a complicated relationship, with Cindy growing frustrated over the fact that Simon had also been seeing Cathy Beale's daughter Donna Ludlow at the same time as her. She then began dating Ian in a bid to make Simon jealous, but soon ended up sleeping with him again, despite having agreed to marry Ian. This night of passion led to Cindy falling pregnant with son Stephen, but when Simon refused to have anything to do with her or the baby, she went ahead with her plan to marry Ian, lying that the baby was his. All hell broke loose when Ian later learned the truth about Stephen's paternity, and soon Cindy and Simon had fled the square together with Stephen in tow. Much like David, going into business with Simon has the potential to cause disaster in Cindy and Ian's newly rekindled relationship. Simon hasn't been seen in Walford since Mum Pat Butcher's, Pam Street Clement, funeral in 2012. Is it time for a comeback? 3. Max Branning. It was recently announced that Lauren Branning will be making a permanent return to EastEnders following her brief appearance earlier this year, and many fans have been wondering if Dad Max may be set to join her. Recent spoilers have revealed that Linda Carter will receive a huge shock over Halloween, and coming face to face with her former flame would certainly be just that. Max is no stranger to business, having previously run the car lot and been heavily involved in James Wilmot Brown's plan to build a new development in Albert Square. Could Max be set to join forces with Cindy, ultimately bringing Lauren back to Walford with him? The last time Lauren and Cindy were together, things ended in disaster, with Lauren breaking up with Peter Beale for lying about his mum. If Max were to be Cindy's business partner, it would certainly ruffle a few feathers. 4. Dean Wicks. There have been theories circulating among fans in recent months that Dean Wicks may be due a comeback to the BBC soap, after his picture was featured in the iconic Flash Forward episode back in February. Linda received quite a shock during the episode when she noticed Dean in the background of a picture of Shirley Carter. She was quick to express her horror to Cathy, explaining her fears that Shirley would bring Dean back to Walford when she returned. Cathy was quick to reassure her, insisting that she would have a wall of friends who would rally round to protect her should he ever come back. And with 5 of Linda's friends set to join her at the scene of a dastardly crime on Christmas Day, we have been left wondering if Dean may be set to return and end up being killed by the 6. Dean would certainly be another contender for Linda's huge Halloween shop, and, given that Gina and Anna are Linda's stepsisters, Cindy and Dean going into business together would certainly have an enormous effect on the family. Given that Dean was chased out of Walford after raping Linda and attempting to rape Roxy Mitchell, it would make sense that he wouldn't want Cindy to mention his identity to anyone before the deal was complete. Perhaps he is frightened she will find out what he is really like, and cut ties completely. 5. Mick Carter. Mick Carter has been presumed dead since he got lost at sea on Christmas Day last year, but his body was never found. We all know what that means in Soapland. With Cindy having been thought dead for over 25 years, she and Mick would certainly have something in common and could definitely share a few stories during quiet periods. A Mick return would also tie into Linda's shock, as an appearance from the husband you thought was dead is sure to leave you feeling alarmed. Could Mick be set to make a surprise return from the dead and expand the Carter empire on Albert Square? 6. Graham Foster. Freddie Slater's dad Graham has made a couple of brief appearances this year, having not been seen since being visited in prison by Billy Mitchell in 2005 after raping Little Mo. When Freddie finally worked out his biological dad's identity, he was able to track him down. However, when he learnt the horrifying truth about his conception, Freddie cut all ties with his evil father. However, with things still playing on his mind, he paid Graham a final visit, making it clear that they would never have a relationship. Knowing that his son wants nothing to do with him, could Graham buy into a business on the square in order to force his son to be close to him? Like Dean, it would make sense as to why he wouldn't want anyone knowing his identity until the deal had gone through, given his dark history. Could Cindy be set to bring Graham back into Freddie's life for good? 7. Grant Mitchell. We can't lie, we're always holding out hope for a Grant Mitchell return. Grant last returned to our screens in 2016 to say goodbye to Mum Peggy, after an absence of 10 years. With sister Sam Mitchell set to make a return, it would be nice to have all three Mitchell siblings back together again. Earlier this year, Ross Kemp admitted that he would never say never to an EastEnders return, giving fans hope that we may see Grant again. With a whole host of classic characters having returned in the past year, Grant would certainly slot in well. Could Cindy and Grant be Walford's new business tycoons?